What's up guys, today we're going to max out on the Swiss bar floor press with 60 pounds of chains. First thing in the morning, completely fasted.
It's all about rotating the variations. In my case, floor pressing is the name of the game. I use different styles, maxing out on a weekly basis, but modifying things very slightly. This addresses my weaknesses while giving me carryover.
So far so good, we're going to do 275, then the real jumps begin.
Because training your weaker lifts is the right way to go. If you know that there's a problem, if you know there's something that needs addressing, why not go for it 100% balls to the wall? Don't just do what you're good at. That's all too common and explains why many lifters struggle with plateaus. You can overcome this with the right programming.
This is where it goes back to not ego lifting. Most people go straight to 3 plates, but I don't think that's a good idea. That last attempt was a little bit difficult, and I feel like a more appropriate jump is 305. But then again, that might not be my true 100 max. So in this case, 310 may be the answer. And that's what I'm going to go for. Hit or miss, let's just do it.
So as usual, let's get another PR and then I'll break down how this all works.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's how the fuck we ramp up.
You see what I'm saying? I'm constantly getting records and never getting hurt from maxing out either, just crushing the misconceptions that exist. Concurrent periodization is the real deal. Max out. Find out what you're terrible at, address it, and do lots of hypertrophy work on top of it. And that's what you're seeing right now. After hitting the 1 rep max, we strip it down to 2 plates with the chains. We're getting reps of 8 to 10. Fantastic hybrid rep range does not interfere with adaptations. This is what you see in Naturally Enhanced. Now the first set went really well, but I noticed it started getting more difficult after this point. So I kept it to 8s instead, leaving some reps in reserve, if you will. I'm not trying to go to extreme failure, because that does impede recovery a little bit. So I'd rather leave a few reps in the tank, still getting a very high training stimulus, but lowering the fatigue very slightly.
I'm gonna leave some reps in the tank, man. Don't hurt my recovery too much. 8s are good.
And I'm not speeding up the sets this time around. Now, this particular variation is more difficult than a close grip bench with chains. I don't know why that's the case, but with my weird build, I'm not good at neutral pressing. And this hits my triceps a little bit hard as well. So this equates to about 3 sets of 10 with 275, which I actually just did last week on my volume day. And if you want to see some videos on that, let me know. But yeah, that's all there is to it, bro. Now we're hitting the overhead press. Reason why I'm hitting 3 presses instead of 2 is because I can. The max effort method, there's not a lot of volume in that. So the back off sets are helpful. Then you throw in an OHB, which you're getting more out of less weight, which also addresses my weaknesses, because proportionally speaking, I'm weaker at vertical pressing.
Feels fantastic. I don't know if I should wrap it up a bit more though.
So here's set number 2, 105 pounds. And actually the third set, I'm going to keep the weight exactly the same. We're doing touch and go, no need to pause for this. Sometimes I do some little pause reps when I'm getting tired or whenever I feel like it, but it's not as urgent if you ask me. I prefer pausing with lower repetitions, at least for this exercise. And that's it, it's going really well. I got the chain completely suspended at the bottom, which overloads the lockout. And actually, I feel like I'm getting a lot stronger in the triceps. They've grown a little bit too. 16.2 inches cold flex. Now, I've obviously gained a lot of weight to go with it, so maybe it's fat. But regardless, my tris are getting stronger. And I credit the chain work to a large extent. No matter if it's incline, overhead, or flat bench, I highly recommend you give it a shot as well, if you have access to them. Not everybody does.
Fuck yeah, man. Do this one more time, and then we move on. Variation, maybe the Swiss bar.
And that's all I did for the presses, man. Very simple stuff. Did some accessories too, but I'm going to show everything at the end because it's not really intense. It's boring. But yeah, here's the semi-neutral pull-up. We're going to work up to doing 3 sets of 1, which is what you do when you're very exhausted and don't want to max out on pull-ups. Plus, there's only so many variations that you could do. Like, I can rotate the styles, right? Neutral grip, wide, semi-neutral, but there's only so much to play with. And a good way to override the biological law of accommodation is by doing 3 sets of 1 instead of the all-out 1 or max. It's also easier on the recovery.
Can't go wrong with singles, especially when you ramp it up very gradually, 5 pounds a set. So this is the alternative to the max effort method. I'm really happy with the progress so far. Now we're gonna hit some rep work.
So I peaked the weight at 150 pounds, which I'm really pleased with because I gained all kinds of weight. I noticed that my pull-ups are more difficult since I started bulking. That's why I'm excited, man, because relative and absolute, everything is fantastic. Now, besides that, we got to do some extra stuff. I didn't want to do any rows today because I feel like it actually impedes my recovery for deadlifting and even squats and good mornings. So I feel like the pull-ups are actually better for upper body workouts, though I'm not done with the rows. I'm going to keep doing them, obviously, but more of a high volume type setup. Pendlay rows, band rows, all the good stuff that I've been talking about for such a long time, but I don't see myself going stupid heavy, And for this workout, I chose the chain pull-up. At the bottom, it's mostly deloaded, and at the top, completely lengthened. So it really, really smashes the biceps. And it's an amazing strength curve as well. Actually, it's good for me. And then finally, the workout is ended with curls and all kinds of accessories that was done beforehand. But it's not intense, so I didn't want to show you. But I wanted to highlight the curls because they were so difficult by this part of the workout, man. We did so much today. And notice how I'm using wrist wraps. That keeps the wrists a bit more straight. You might feel the biceps more if you're forearm dominant, just saying. And that was the entire session, man. Brutal as hell. I hope you enjoyed it.
Now that was insanely intense. We maxed out. There's lots of heavy work on top of it and volume to go with it. So I really hope you try out this workout and let me know if you want more videos like this. Talk to you next time.